right, good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to be using the following webpage for our reading today. So today our webpage is going to be about the ostrich, okay? And as you can see always on the left-hand side of the screen, you can jump to various parts of the webpage if you need to answer a question specifically, say, about biology. You would click biology section, all right? So we're going to start and we're going to jump to the top. And the first thing we're going to look at is the ostrich images, okay? So I'm going to scroll through them and allow you to look at each one. As you can see, the ostriches have very long necks and very, very long legs, right? We can see a bit of where they live. It looks like the savanna, the grasslands, right? They have beaks. Okay, oh, and look at these talons on their feet. They lay eggs, and there's a little baby ostrich right there. Oh, look at the little baby ostrich, right? So these are all the photos of the ostrich, and when you go look at the web page, you can feel free to go scroll back and forth, okay? Now we're going to read the section entitled Ostrich Description. The largest and heaviest of all living birds, the ostrich, is instantly recognizable. With its long, bare neck, large body, and long, sturdy legs. Despite its relatively small head, it is also notable for having the largest eyes of any land animal, measuring an impressive 5 centimeters in diameter and protected by long black lashes. The adult male ostrich has black plumage with a white tail and primary feathers, and a bright pinkish or blue neck in the breeding season. The female is smaller and is gray-brown in color. While immature, birds resemble the female, but are slightly darker. 4 subspecies are recognized, differing mainly in the color of the neck and legs of the male and in the amount of feathering on the head. Not needed for flight, the ostrich's feathers are unusual in that they lack the tiny hooks that hold the feathers together, so leaving the barbs, the branches of the feather, loose and giving a very soft, smooth plumage. The ostrich is also the only bird to have just 2 toes on each rather prehistoric-looking foot. The inner toe is thick and strong, adapted for running, and is armed with a formidable 10-centimeter long claw, which can be used in defense. The ostrich has quite an extensive vocal repertoire, using a variety of whistles, snorts, and guttural noises to communicate, as well as other sounds such as bill snapping. The male also produces a loud booming call, which sounds rather like the roar of a lion and is produced during display or at night when a predator is near. Ostrich biology. The ostrich's long, powerful legs allow it to look over the top of tall vegetation when scanning for predators, and also to cover great distances in search of food. The fastest runner of any bird, it can reach up to 70 kilometers per hour in short sprints, with strides of 3 to 5 meters in length, more than compensating for its lack of flight. It is also able to outpace most mammals in terms of stamina, capable of running at up to 50 kilometers per hour for 30 minutes or more. The diet of the ostrich includes grasses, seeds, and leaves, as well as flowers, fruits, and roots. The leaves, flowers, and fruits of succulent plants are important in drier areas, and some insects and small vertebrates may also be taken. Ostriches typically feed in groups browsing close to the ground, although S.C. mollibatifrons is said to be more solitary. The breeding season and strategy of the ostrich vary with location. Where food is scarce, breeding pairs tend to be monogamous, but elsewhere breeding groups usually form consisting of a territorial male together with a main or major hen and several secondary minor hens. At the start of breeding season, the male scrapes out a nest, a mere depression in the ground, and then attempts to attract females using an elaborate courtship display. which involves dropping to the ground, opening the wings and tails, shaking each wing alternatively, and moving the tail up and down while swaying the head and neck from side to side. The male will then approach the female with the wings open and the brightly colored neck puffed out while stamping the feet. After mating, the main female lays up to 11 creamy white eggs, while the other females lay around 2 to 6 eggs each in the same nest, and may also lay eggs in other nests. The egg of the ostrich is the largest in the world, although relatively small in relation to the size of the bird. At around 16 centimeters in length and 1.5 kilograms in weight, with a 2 millimeter thick shell. Incubation is performed only by the male and the main female and lasts between 42 and 46 days. Any surplus eggs which the pair cannot cover are pushed out of the nest by the female, who is somehow able to recognize and retain her own, leaving about 20 eggs in total. The young are buff-colored with black lines and specks and leave the nest within the first 3 days. The pair may sometimes take chicks from other broods, and large crochets often form, escorted by one or more adults. The adult birds may attack potential predators when defending the young, and have even been reported to kill lions with a kick. The young ostrich fledge at 4 to 5 months, and are fully grown by about 18 months, reaching maturity after 3 to 4 years and potentially living for up to 30 to 40 years. Ostrich range. Although it has now been lost from much of its original range, the ostrich occurs across much of Africa and has also been introduced to southern Australia. The subspecies Struthio camelis, North African ostrich, once found across the whole of North Africa, is now restricted to the western and southern Sahara and the Sahel. S.C. Mali Dauphin's Somalia ostrich occurs from Somalia to Kenya, where it overlaps with S.C. Masakis, the Maasai ostrich, which occurs from Kenya through Tanzania, Zambia, and Mozambique, and south to the Zambezi River. S.C. australis, South African ostrich, originally occurred south of the Zambezi and Kunene rivers to the southern tip of South Africa, but is now found mainly in the northwest of its former range, such as in the Kalahari and Namib deserts, with some feral populations elsewhere. Ostrich habitat. This species occupies a variety of open, semi-arid plains from desert to savanna, as well as open woodlands. Ostrich status. Classified as least concern on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species and listed on Appendix 1 of CITES. Ostrich threats. Although still relatively abundant and not considered globally threatened, the ostrich has decreased in numbers and range in recent times. The feathers and eggs have long been used by humans, but a fashion for using ostrich feathers for hats in the 19th century, together with widespread egg collection and hunting for meat and skin in the 20th century, almost exterminated the species from northern and southern Africa. Habitat destruction, mostly in the form of overgrazing, has also greatly reduced the species' range, and is currently considered the main threat. The subspecies Struthio camelis circasis, the Arabian or Syrian ostrich, once found across the Middle East from the Syrian desert to the Arabian Peninsula, is now believed extinct. Ostrich conservation. International trade in the ostrich is strictly controlled under its listing on Appendix 1 of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species. And the species also occurs in a number of protected areas across its range, such as in the Serengeti National Park in Tanzania. Attempts have also been made to reintroduce the species to the Middle East, using chicks of S.C. camelis, the most similar subspecies to the extinct S.C. sericus. Commercial ostrich farming for feathers, meats, and skins has long been established in South Africa and has since spread to many other countries. Today, ostrich farming is a growing industry and considered among the most profitable agricultural projects. Indeed, a number of European and North American beef farmers have recently switched to raising ostriches commercially because of the greater and faster financial returns. And ostrich meat is considered a good alternative to other kinds of meat, being high in protein but low in fat and cholesterol. In some areas, ostriches are also raised for sport. However, despite its increasing presence in captivity, the impressive and unmistakable bird may need further conservation action in the wild if its populations are to remain secure. All right, my scholars, if you're ready to go on and use this information to answer your questions, then go right ahead and jump in. But if you need a little quick reread, well, let's scroll back to the beginning of the video and let's start again. In the end,